Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Air Force One Down. This is not Harrison Ford. Very, very low expectations here. I don't know. It just popped up, I think through Voodoo. Rookie agent aboard the hijacked Air Force One battles terrorists, threatening energy deal, and president in relentlessness. I don't know. So anyway, some rookie gets on Air Force One, has to save the day. 4.1 on IMDb. 326 people rated it so far. So here's the reason I pulled it up. Or I didn't pull it up. So I looked at it. I saw Air Force One Down, and I'm looking for something different, right? Something we haven't seen that's not out there because, you know, I watch enough popular movies. Katherine McNamara. And I'm like, I know that girl. Where is she? So she was in Arrow. She was the daughter. So in the later season, if you watched Arrow with Stephen and Mel, in the last couple of seasons, they started flash forward, and she was like the daughter of Arrow and whatever the other girl's name was, who I didn't like after a couple of seasons. Anyway, man, it's there. It's on the tip of my tongue, her name. But anyway, she was the daughter, and I thought she was pretty cool. I liked the, you know, the younger generation and stuff like that on that show for a little bit. So anyway, that's the reason I'm like, why the heck not? It's an hour and 24 minutes. How can I go wrong? So let me check it out, let you know what I think. I don't think anybody else is in it, and I didn't feel like finding anything else to watch. So we'll see. Stick around. I'll let you know. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Air Force One Down, and it is exactly what you think it's going to be. Ratings and everything. Now, I have it a little bit higher than a 4 point whatever it was. Probably 5 for me. But, you know, imagining everything that I described to you, yes, that's exactly what you're getting. Now, there are some surprises in here that I think was pretty good. First of all, first scene, I was almost going to jump back. Anthony Michael Hall is in this movie. Now, I'm a fan of Michael Anthony Hall. You know, a lot of people will reference, you know, 16 Candles and what's the other one? The Breakfast Club. But Johnny Be Good. Johnny Be Good, who also had Iron Man in it. If you haven't seen that one, check out Johnny Be Good. I liked that one. I was playing high school football back then, so that was fun. So he's in it. And so that was a big surprise to me. And Michael, if you happen to be watching, which highly unlikely, change your IMDb photo. That one's like, it's like you normally get like a good picture, facial profile kind of picture of a actor, and he's like standing in it, like half his head's cut off. I mean, you know, that's why I didn't recognize him when I scrolled past. So, you know, a little tip to you there, get something in there. And throw up the one from 16 Candles, that would be awesome, right? But in addition to Anthony Michael Hall and Katherine McNamara, which we already talked about, I knew she was in it, Ian Bohen is in it. Who's Ian Bohen, right? I didn't know until I saw his face. I was like, I know this guy. He's one of the ranch hands in Yellowstone. So, you know, applause to him. He plays the president. Anthony Michael Hall plays the head of CIA. Ian Bohen plays the president of the United States. So that's pretty cool. You know, he's kind of like, he's in Yellowstone as like a, you know, background character for the most part. Here he is running the country. Awesome. So that was kind of exciting to see these people in it. And, you know, from an acting standpoint, I think it was pretty good. I'm not sure, as much as I like her, how her acting is. Again, there were some definite, I knew it, and I thought about doing this. There were some times where it was poor dialogue, you know, and that's what she was given to say, and that's the way she said it. And I thought of the idea of maybe I should run these movies back, if I can condense it a little bit, and be like, at this scene, like what I'm talking about, like there's a scene at the bar where she's talking to Anthony Michael Hall, who happens to be her uncle, and there's some, like, I would just clean it up a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little something that just started, I don't know. I thought maybe that would be something I could do and that would be entertaining. I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not for most people. But, so that would, you know, and I started thinking about that. That would be fun. So maybe I'll do that in the future. Let me know what you think. But while I'm not sure about her acting, she's very talented, you know, because you think about in Arrow, she has the same kind of, you know, like, I don't know if it's martial arts or whatever, but she's like a great action, you know, star, I would say, you know, the way she takes it. Now, it gets to the unbelievable status where she's like the one-woman army taking on the entire Russian army. Okay, you know, like, but she does a good job what she's doing. So I like that. But you know, that's part of the about the movie, the fact that it's so unbelievable. And speaking of unbelievable, the fact that you know, Air Force One, they're on Air Force One, and as you can imagine, these Russians, it has to do with Russia, take over the plane. But the way that they do it is like somebody's on board, like a press guy. And it's like, really? Like, you don't vet your people, like, to get on Air Force One, like, extremely, extremely hard, especially when you think there's a potential of something going on, you're going to do this. So that, you know, there's a little bit of that, and then they're very easily able to take over the plane, as they allude to in the IMDb synopsis, right? So, come on, is that really going to happen? It just seems like that was really unbelievable. Like, to how they got onto the plane, like the beginning of the you know, planning there, I was like, okay, that's cool, you know, because you got to think of like some interesting way to make this happen. But then the rest of it was just like, oh, come on, that's just bad writing, I think. And you know, so there's so many bad decisions there, all that kind of stuff. And then another piece of it is, and maybe I'll save that for the spoiler alerts because it takes a little bit farther and I don't want to ruin it. But so I'll say one more piece of bad decision or bad writing or whatever it was in this. And I say this saying I couldn't do any better. I'd have to see everything and then make recommendations. So, you know, I applaud you. You got a film out there with great actors in it. And I watched it. So you're a lot better than what I could do. So I'm just talking openly. But before I get into the spoiler section, I do think this movie would be, and maybe it already is, would be a great video game. If you watch it, check it out. There's a lot of, you know, I could see different stages of the video game happening. And again, maybe this is a video game and they made it after that, but that would be cool. I think that would be pretty neat. So if you make it, let me know. Maybe I'll buy it and play it. All right, so that's it. So like I said, I'm probably a 5 on this. And if you haven't seen it, you don't want to learn more about the movie, I won't spoil the ending. Like, if you can't guess the ending, okay, fine. But if you haven't seen it, you don't want anything spoiled, check out now. I appreciate it. But if you don't mind hearing a little bit more, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, real small thing. The whole piece of, you know, as they're, you know, they got the president and the Russians are there. So in order to get him to do what they want, they have to apply pressure, right? And he's like, yeah, you know, you can torture me. No, we're not going to torture you. We're going to torture the CIA agent. And that just didn't make any sense to me. You know, in normal circumstances, the president's not going to really care about the CIA agent. The CIA agent has signed up to die for the president. So using that as a pressure point, even though it's a female, does not make any sense. They kind of make it seem like we know that they exchange. There's a little romantic vibe between the two of them. We know that. The Russians don't know that. How did they know? They haven't seen them together. They've never met before she got on the plane. And they've only spent like a night together. And, you know, wow, again, we see it. The Russians don't know that. So that should not be a pressure point. And so I was like, that's another piece of, you know, bad writing, that or whatever it is. Like, that's not like, hey, we're not going to torture you. We're going to go after her. It's like, no, maybe go after his family or something like that. If he has a family, it didn't seem like it the way he was, you know, eyeing her up. But, you know, so that was really it. That was the one thing. I want to make sure there wasn't anything else. Yep, that was it. So I want to throw that out there. But anyway, that's what I got for you. I'd love to maybe like do that thing if I could figure out a cool way to do it. Show you little skits and say, hey, here's the bar scene. Here's the words she said right here. Take them out, and it makes a better dialogue, in my opinion. So maybe I will. I don't know. That's it. That's all I got for you. Hopefully I was helpful. Pretty energetic in this one because I had fun with it. I don't mind watching it. You know, I mean, it wasn't terrible. So that was, I don't know why I threw that at the end. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.
Thank you.